welcome back to my channel. Welcome. My arm is incredibly long today and I think I have a little bit of a hair on it, but that's okay. Bye bye hair. Okay, I'll see you later. Okay, so today's video will be about highlighters. I love myself a highlighter. I love myself a ton of highlighters. Sometimes I tend to overdo it and then I have to be like, hold up. No, whoa. You're just going to school. You're not going to a strip club. But yeah, so anyway, I just wanted to focus today on highlighters, just to share with you some highlighters that I really find myself using a lot. I have 6 highlighters here to share with you. The other 2 times that I've been trying to film these videos, I ended up having like about 10 or 15 highlighters that I just love and that I personally love using. But you know what? Today I was like, calm down, Anya. Let's just show your favorite 6 highlighters. Actually, wait, no. 7. I tried. I really did. I tried. They're all from different like companies, different price points, different effects. You have some very subtle highlights, you have some very poppin' highlights, you have some very expensive highlights, you have some very inexpensive highlights. So in general, if you have ever wanted to get yourself an amazing highlight, this is the video for you. Okay, so I'm just going to start off with the highlighter that I'm wearing today. I'm actually wearing 2 highlighters, but you know, who's counting? Pretty much this is the Hard Candy Glow All The Way highlight in the shade Tiki. Yes, this packaging is beat up to crap. Yes, it is because I love it. This is pretty much one of the more subtle highlights in this selection that I have here. This is also a drugstore highlight, which is, again, amazing. Win-win, win-win. Nice things about this highlight. This is almost like a powder instead of an actual highlight. I would call this a highlighting powder, but technically this is a highlight because this is such a very subtle highlight, which is, again, great because for me, like on an everyday basis, I tend to like highlights that are a little bit more subtle, that are not as like popping, that are not as intense, because for every day, for like school time and everything like that, for actually living my life, I like the benefits of a highlight, but I don't want to appear as if like I have this very powdery metallic business on my face. When you like put this highlight on your finger, it looks like a powder pretty much, not gonna lie, but then when you swatch it, it ends up looking like this very beautiful, subtle, shimmery goodness. I'm not even sure if you can see it that well, but this is one of my favorite highlighters. I use this a ton. Today what I did is I took a fluffy brush like this and I pretty much dipped it into this highlight and I applied it all around like my cheek area right here, and then I took this next highlight, which I'm going to be talking to you about. This is the Urban Decay Afterglow highlighter, and this is a very like more expensive and intense highlight. This is like more of a metallic highlight, and then I put a little bit of this on top, like right there, and the effect is a highlighter that gives on my face a little bit more dimension. Instead of using just one shade and making it look like, oh yeah, I have a stripe of highlight on my face, I pretty much was able to make my face look a little bit more 3-dimensional, a little bit more poppin', a little bit more like cheekbone action. At least that's what I'm thinking right now. But this is a highlighter which looks like this. This is a bit more intense, and by a bit I mean this is a metallic madness thing, and this pretty much looks like this. This is like a champagne highlight. It's a little bit chunky. It's not as smooth as some other highlighters which I'm going to be sharing with you today, but that in my opinion is okay because this is a very intense product. It is really beautiful. It has a lot of reflective flecks in it, and if you're ever going to a party, if you're ever just going somewhere for the night, if you really want to make your cheekbones look amazing and make your face look beautiful, try this one out because this is a beautiful highlight. It blends out beautifully and it stays on very nicely. This is apparently an 8-hour highlighter. I think all of these highlighters are technically 8 hours because if they disappear after like 2 hours, and that's just weird. But this is pretty much a highlighter that is a little bit more expensive. However, I do love it. I think it's amazing. It is definitely not like a very smooth everyday highlight. However, for special occasions, I really do like this, as well as filming every now and then, because you really get that beautiful beaming effect whenever I use this highlight. So I like it. So this is one of those smooth highlighters I was talking about. This is the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector. This one is in the shade Champagne Pop. So many brands started to come out with like the champagne highlightery shades that pretty much mimic this color. This is Champagne Pop, and it has still gone out of style. If you're looking for like a super smooth, creamy, metallic, pigmented, beautiful, stunning, aliens, blinding highlight, this is pretty much it. This is all that for you. This is a little bit more of a darker highlight, but that's great in my opinion because you can easily wear this if you have medium to deep skin tones as well as relatively light skin. When I'm at my whitest, I don't really tend to reach for this that much, but if you have a very light highlight and you can mix it in with this. But I actually have a highlight here that is like a white highlight, and taking a highlight like that and mixing it with this color is really great if you have super light skin, because again you get the benefits of this highlight, but you can tailor it to your specific skin if you are super light. So this in general is a very good quality highlight. It swatches like a dream. Let me show you just one swatch and you get so much color payoff, or so much light and shimmery payoff. This is amazing. I love it so much. I use it all the time, and sometimes I just wake up in the middle of the night, I'm bored, and I just go to my makeup collection and I just swatch my hand with this highlight, and I'm like sitting there and I'm like, yes, it's beautiful, it's so nice. But yes, this is a highlight. It is swatched, it is beautiful, and I definitely think that this is one of those highlights that you absolutely need in your collection. In general, when I say need something, I tend to buy it. I also have this highlight from TheBalm called the Lou-Manizer. This is one of those iconic highlights. Again, this has been around for quite a while, and this remains to be probably one of my most used highlighters and one of my favorite highlighters in general. The shade is beautiful. The quality of this is stunning. This is only about $20. So it is like one of those high-end highlights, but it is for a more inexpensive price as well. You do get a lot of product in here, and it is $20, which means that it is not as expensive. And again, they do have some other shades in their highlighting range. They have one that's really beautiful for deep skin tones. They have a more of a pink one called the Betty Lou-Manizer, or is it the Cindy Lou-Manizer? But this one is the Lou-Manizer. I believe this is the most popular one and by far my personal favorite. If you have a skin tone that is more on the light side, this would be great for you. I love it. I think it's beautiful. It's like a very pearlescent product. It looks amazing on the skin, and this is what it looks like right there. It's just so beautiful. Okay, so now I have like a more intense but drugstore version of a highlight. This is from Wet n Wild. This is their Mega Glow highlighting powder, and please excuse my shiny hands, but this is what happens when you highlight highlighters, or when you swatch highlighters. But this is pretty much the Wet n Wild highlighting powder, and this is a damn beautiful highlighter. Let me just get this open. It has like this flower embossed on it. You can see that this is definitely one of the more peachy toned highlighters compared to all these other highlighters that I have here today to share with you. This is definitely a peachy toned highlighter. This is what it looks like right here. A very awkward place to swatch, I know, but you know, like my hands are full. But this is pretty much what it looks like. As you can see, it's a very pink toned peachy highlight. It is very beautiful. The only difference formula wise that I have found with this highlight versus like any other highlight that I've tried that is a little bit more high end is that this highlight is a little bit harder than other highlighters. For instance, with the Becca highlight, I don't need to apply like any pressure at all to the brush when I'm picking up the product. However, with this highlight, same thing with a lot of other drugstore highlighters, I find that I have to apply a little bit more pressure to the brush when I'm picking this up, which is of course fine. There's not going to be like a big emergency if I have to just press down on my brush just a little bit, but that's just my warning to you. That's the only difference that I found with this highlight compared to other highlighters, is that this one is a little bit more hard. But in general, the end effect is the same. You will still get that beautiful highlighted look. It will look amazing, and it pretty much performs almost just as well as a high-end like $40, $30 highlight. The only difference that I found is that this one is a little bit more of a harder, tougher formula. Still beautiful, still amazing, still pigmented. That's just my like FYI for you. Okay, so the last powder highlighters that I have to share with you, I'm talking so much about these colors. I'm just talking so much in this video, of course. But the last powder highlights that I have to share with you actually come in palettes. These are the City Color Contour Effects 2 palettes. Well, one and two. I have both of them. And I love these palettes because if you open them, you have a contour and bronzy color, like right here, and then you have a highlighter at the end. This one is the City Color Contour Effects 1 palette. And the highlighter in this is that white highlighter I was telling you about earlier. If you ever have a highlighter that you think that is a little bit too dark for you, you can easily mix it with something like this, because this is essentially a white highlighting powder, and I love it because not only is it intense on its own, but it looks amazing when you mix it in with other highlighters. Like when you swatch it, I mean, it looks super white on my skin, but for those of you who have very light skin, this would be amazing on you. And also, this is a great thing to have in your collection, because if you ever have a highlighter that you think is a little bit too dark for you, you can easily take this highlight and mix it in with that other highlight, and you can get a pretty custom perfect shade for your skin tone. The City Color Contour Effects 2 palette has by far my favorite highlight out of the two, and this is what it looks like right here. This is such a beautiful peachy, well, not peachy, like it's like a nude colored highlight almost. It's so beautiful, so pretty. Swatches again amazingly. Just like with the Wet n Wild highlight, these are beautiful and pigmented, but you do have to work a little bit to get any kind of color payoff, but you still get that beautiful effect. This is a slightly more cool tone version of a highlight compared to some of the other highlighters I've swatched in this video, but I wear this highlight a ton and I love it. It is such a beautiful highlight to wear on the cheekbones. It is great for every day, and it looks great with any kind of look that you have. Plus, a bonus with picking up one of these palettes is that you get these beautiful other shades as well that I find myself using a ton. So these two great palettes. I don't really know why no one talks about them, but I love them a lot and I use them all the time. Woo! So that is it for this video. Man, okay, I swear to God, my throat is like, I have like nothing left in here because I'm so tired from like talking and talking and talking for the past 30 minutes. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Ooh, now it's time to edit this video. I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna watch TV, to be honest, because I'm tired. But thank you so much for watching to the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it and got something useful in terms of product recommendation and maybe some tips as well. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.